After returning back from Easter break, representatives are getting back into the legislative routine, whether it's hearing policy issues in committees.
In many states, the fiscal note process is actually controlled by the legislature.
To add this on top of it just seems like a distraction that doesn't really add much value.
Or debating bills on the House floor.
The redistricting plan that we will draw this year as a legislature will last for 10 years.
During this whole process, over the last 4 months, we have been discussing redistricting.
The representatives know they have less than a month left before the end of the legislative session. This legislative session, you can read all about the happenings of the House. The free nonpartisan magazine, Session Weekly, keeps you up to date, providing in-depth coverage of the House committees and floor action. Here's a glimpse of what you can expect from the professional staff of writers, editors, and photographers in this week's edition of Session Weekly. Representative Jennifer Loon is sponsoring a bill designed to help craft breweries. Session Weekly looks at how the bill could be a win-win for brewers and job seekers in Minnesota. Plus, easing budget pressures on local units of government is the point behind House File 7. Session Weekly examines the bill that repeals a variety of mandates. The House Legacy Funding Division has approved an omnibus bill that divvies up how much of the funds groups and special projects would receive. Session Weekly writer Sue Hagerty has the story this week.
One of the 4 legacy funds is the Parks and Trails Fund, and it's about 14% of the special revenue that comes in for the legacy funds. It's divided 3 ways. There's the Metropolitan Council spends their portion in the Twin Cities metro area on parks, and the Department of Natural Resources spends their portion on state parks, which are primarily found in greater Minnesota. The other portion is used for grants. Now, some of the debate is whether that percentage for grant programs, whether or not the Metropolitan Council should be allowed to apply for those grants, and the DNR is not. Traditionally, it's been about 16%. Some of the entities think that they should have a bigger slice. Representative Erdahl, knowing that he can't please everybody, has decided not to please anybody by splitting it 40-40-20. So 20% of the funds will be used for a grant program. Now, the Met Council will be allowed to apply for those grants. Otherwise, the Met Council and the DNR are going to split the funds 40-40. What Representative Erdahl is saying is, remember, keep in mind that even though your percentage of the funds is dropping, you're still going to get more money because revenue in the fund is raising. We're generating more sales tax with the legacy funds. So even though these entities are getting less percentage, they're getting an increase in funding over last year and the previous 2 years, actually.
Session Weekly will be providing coverage throughout the legislative session, keeping you informed and up to date.